Welcome back to Water Fan TV. Mat Sadler. What does he need to do to keep his job and rescue the situation? A lot of fans have already switched off to the idea of Mat Sadler staying as manager, but at the moment he's still in place. What can he do to turn things round and get us out this mess? Because I think if we fail in the playoffs, which form would indicate is likely, he would almost certainly be relieved of his duties. Number one, credit to Mat Sadler for getting Walsall higher up the league, but this season's capitulation, twinned with what happened last season when we looked like we were going to be in the playoffs and then dropped away, it's clear the pressure and the difficult challenge of closing out a season. That's twice he's failed. I'm not saying it's an easy job, anything but with Richard O'Kelly mentoring him, Gary Waddock as his experienced assistant, how much is the capitulation down to Mat Sadler? Well, if he's the king when things are going well, he's the clown when it's not. I think we've got to put it all, or a large part of it, at Mat Sadler's door. The situation when Nathan Lowe left us, Ben Sadler did come out and say we'd be stronger in January. I'm sure he thoroughly wishes he hadn't said that, because it has bitten him. Recently, I think in the Express and Star, Mat Sadler's talked about an admission of how difficult the transfer window was. This would have been better perhaps coming out earlier in some respects, but he was the guy who said the phone's ringing off the hook with people who wanted to send players to us. So if that's the case, Ethan Wheatley, with no adult first team experience as such, was he the pick of the bunch? Now, whatever you think of Ethan Wheatley, he's scoring for under-18s for England, scoring in Premier 2. I think Walsall have sort of written him off too soon. He got thrown in without Jammer alongside him, and then just cast aside. So, a difficult January, I understand. But really, as people have said on the fan reaction, we didn't need promotion form to see out the season. Mid-table form would have more than done it. But 13 games without a win, just 2 wins in 21, is it? That's ridiculous. So the next thing, which is firmly at Mat Sadler's door, is the use of tactics. And we're not talking about use of tactics just for the first team, we're talking about through the club. Myself and Frankie and Matt went along to the Academy Showcase, and it was really a great evening. It's a pity more weren't there to hear what was being said. But one thing that was quite poignant was they play exactly the same way as the first team, 3-5-2 with a high press. And they said that if they're struggling to hold on the last 10 minutes of a game, they won't change tactics, they won't change formation, they just keep playing the same. So when things are going wrong, they don't change it. So the team is coached not to change things to see out a game. And I said, well, that's all well and good because you're training youngsters to sort of stick to their role, as long as that doesn't happen in the first team. But it is happening in the first team. They're still playing the same tactics regardless of what's going on in the game. And that's the problem. That is the problem. No flexibility when things aren't going right. How many times have we been there in games where Walsall are doing well and then the opposition manager makes some changes, throws some big guys on, just launch it, and they make a change. They make a change to change the game. Michael Flynn, he was one who's openly admitted on many occasions, I got it wrong this time, I just needed to change it. We've never heard Mat Sadler say that. In the Cheltenham game, Walsall were coasting at 2-0. Mike Flynn realises it's going away from him and he makes a rapid change, a drastic change, and gets the point. How often has Mat Sadler made a dramatic change to try and get a result? He hasn't. And many fans have talked about not having a plan B when plan A is not working. Well, up to January, plan A worked very well. But from February, plan A was clearly not working. The effectiveness of the wing backs had been nullified with people doubling up on Connor Barrett particularly. So Connor Barrett quickly got to 7 assists and then it all dried up because people had worked him out. And we didn't, despite our advanced coaching techniques and player and team development, despite that training, Mat Sadler didn't adapt to that. So Connor Barrett, the effectiveness of Connor Barrett sort of was nullified. Why didn't he freshen up the players? We've got players like Connor Barrett, first season as a full-time pro. Jamie Jellis, first season as a full-time pro. And massive engine required for the press. And when George Hall and Jack Earing got injured, they were putting more and more onus on getting Jamie Jellis and Charlie Lakin through games when we needed to use the squad. Now, Mat Sadler has said everybody will be needed, but that's just not true, is it? Everybody hasn't been needed. He's not used everybody. The crystal clear one is Danny Johnson. For minutes on the pitch, he's our best finisher. And everybody knows that he's a great finisher. Home to Salford, we're 2-0 down. He comes on, scores 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. You can't do that every game, granted. But he's been so starved of minutes. And we hear things from Mat Sadler saying the players selected on their effort in training. Yeah, I'll get you. You want your players to give their all in training. But winning football matches is what brings you success or gets you the sack. And not using DJ is going to get him the sack and mean that Walsall will fail. If DJ had been on the last 20 minutes of every game of the last 10, 15 games, we'd have had more points and we'd have been celebrating promotion. And that's fact. That's fact. Danny Johnson, give him time on the pitch, he scores goals. And the recent games, Newport, Accrington, Harrogate, we had chances in those games and we just hadn't finished teams off. Danny Johnson would have done that. Next one I want to talk about, Nathan Asimwe, doing really good. He was our Leamore Winders man of the match on Saturday. A great talent. For he came in January and didn't get a sniff until Connor Barrett got suspended. Then we realise, actually, this guy can play. Well, surely they've seen in training that he can play. Why hasn't he been given more minutes to take some of the pressure off Connor Barrett, who's obviously been struggling? On the other wing back, Liam Gordon has been absolutely shattered for months. And he's a very fit lad and he gives his all. But the guy is exhausted. Was it a game recently? Oh, not so recently. It was the MK Dons game away. And Stephen said, 5 minutes in, Stephen said, Liam Gordon's shattered already. He's just used the players too much. And so is there an argument that he had to do that with Liam Gordon? Well, I'm sorry to say, Liam Gordon, we love him, but how many assists has he got this season? 2, 3? And he's played virtually every game in wing-back, which is one of the most creative positions. So why hasn't he been rested more? He went off to Ghana, played 2 games in a week, already exhausted, came back, straight back into the first team, and the guy's shattered. So, who could we have played instead? Well, Evan Weir, whenever he's taken to the pitch, he's looked really good. Incisive passes, strong in the tackle, and we'll all remember the goal line clearance away to Notts County. So Evan Weir, is he not trying in training? I can't imagine that. He's just not being used anywhere near enough. Particularly with Liam Gordon struggling. Coming back to January, things weren't working out quite well because Freddie Draper deal, that sort of fell through. Grabbed Ellis Harrison at the last minute pretty much. Douglas James Taylor had been doing excellently for Drogheda. Why didn't we bring Douglas James Taylor back? He would have loved it and he would have been a massive benefit to Walsall. Great pace, good finishing ability. Just left in Ireland. He's not starting every game in Ireland now. He's probably thoroughly peed off. Alfie Chang, when he arrived in January, he was clearly not fit, or Mat Sadler just didn't feel that he was good enough. Well, we've seen him on the pitch. He is clearly good enough. But why did we bring him in on loan as midfield cover if he wasn't fit? That doesn't make sense. Now he is fit. He's looking good. But his fitness coincided with the return of George Hall. It was while George Hall was out injured and Alfie Chang wasn't fit, that's when we needed the cover, and it wasn't there. And the rot set in, flogging the same players who are already exhausted. Ronan Mayer, he's been doing well at Tamworth. He came back. He could have played in the Barrow game. Not got a sniff. Energy, forward thinking, really good on the ball. Creates. And occasionally, in cup games, chips in with a goal. He's definitely an exciting player to watch. But he's not had a sniff. There's a team struggling for confidence, struggling for energy, and you've got a superb bunch of energy just waiting to play in front of the Sadler's faithful. And he's not even been on the bench. And he's that good for player development, which is one of the key things. Player development. He would have loved to get on the pitch, Ram, and he's just not used him. I just can't understand it. Perhaps a bigger waste is Race Cleary. Race Cleary, similar to Alfie Chang and George Hall, had a bad season last season with injuries. But here again, Race Cleary, regular minutes off the bench, build up his fitness. When he came on, he did okay. And particularly when Nathan Lowe went, struggling for replacements, Race Cleary, this is your chance, mate. Get in there. But having not been used and pushed to the side for the first few months of the season, he couldn't wait to get away from here. Just a waste. Just a waste. Ethan Wheatley, great ability. Bit of a rude awakening coming into League Two for the rough and tumble of that. And I think after he came off of the Salford game, his head definitely dropped. But they gave him a new contract at Manchester United. And maybe he needed a bit of time for adjustment, which he could have got in training and then get back in. But he's just not reappeared. Pace, clinical finishing. How's he not playing? How's he not getting minutes? Instead, we've been overusing players that have done well. We've just overused them to a point of exhaustion. Connor Barrett, he's faded through the season, just lack of energy. Yes, players have doubled up on him, which has made life more difficult for him, but the guy is just shattered. Liam Gordon, I've already mentioned. Guys, he's so dead on his feet most games. He needs a break. Jamie Jellis, this I cannot understand. People were saying Jamie Jellis, oh, he's not bothered, he's had an offer from somewhere else. No, we found out after he'd been playing through an illness, which, fair play to Jamie Jellis, and I applaud him. At the same time, we've got Ronan Mayer, could have jumped in, done the last 30 minutes, just to take a bit of the pressure off it. But Jamie Jellis playing all the way through games when he's struggling. It's a wonder he's not had a serious injury. And then, Darius Lipswick. I've only seen him once, and that was in Smash Burgers. Nowhere near the first team since his arrival. What was the point? What was the point? Work experience for a Stoke player? Well, I'm sure we should be doing Stoke lots of favours after what they did to us. Have Nathan Lowe give him a game in the first team for a couple of weeks and then playing for the under-21s. Absolute joke. Another player overused. This is a strange one. Albert Adoma. Off the bench, seeing games out early in the season, perfect. Cover for Connor Barrett before Nathan Asimwe arrived, perfect. Why has he been playing him as a centre forward? Every fan reaction we get, Adoma, why does he keep playing him as a centre forward? He's never played as a centre forward, he's played as a winger. He's played as a wing back. Why is he trying to play him as a centre forward? And we know his finishing is not there. He had that great chance at Newport. It was a striker's dream, and he headed it wide. Ryan Stirk, he's another one that's been overused and exhausted. All young guys these are. They need a break. And then the old established ones, Jammer. He's getting on a bit, not as much as I am, but he's getting on a bit. And we didn't expect him to play every game, or near enough every game. And when Alice Harrison was signed, we thought, excellent, that'll give Jammer a bit of a break. Jammer, 60 minutes, last 30 minutes, Alice Harrison, cover for Jammer. No. He played them together. Two players not blessed with great pace up front. Tranmere tried that, two old guys up front, and we know where they ended up. So, in conclusion, will Mat Sadler make the change, or will Mat Sadler stubbornly fall on his metaphoric sword? 4-4-2 on Saturday? What do you reckon? We do have two players that could come in. Priestley Farquharson and Donovan Daniels. That would not surprise me one bit. But for me, with Conor Barrett suspended, I'd go Asimwe, Dave, Williams, and then most likely Taylor Allen, left back. Charlie Lakin, freshening things up, lots of energy as CDM. Or switching in with Chang in that position. And then left and right midfield, Ram and Hall, perhaps, with Adoma coming on second half for Hall if need be. And then up front, Jammer, got to be a Jammer start, haven't he? And then Harrison or Levi coming on for him later on. And then partnering them, half a game each, Ethan Wheatley, Danny Johnson. What do you think? Wolfsfan TV, I know this has been a long one. I do apologise. Maybe I should have split it into two. But just wanted to get it all off my chest, really. Join the pain. Can we rescue it? Form says no. If Mat Sadler changes and steps away from his stubborn route, maybe we can surprise a few.